Hey y'all, this is Angela and welcome to the show Hodgepodge. This show is not about one thing, this show is about everything. Because in this old crazy world that we're living in, there is lots to discuss. So I hope you'll sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now let's get started with today's episode. Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Hodgepodge with Angela. I am your host, Angela, and I have a fun episode for y'all today. Something that I want to share with y'all that my husband and I have been doing for a while, and I hope you guys will give this some thought and think, hey, that's a pretty good idea right there. So what we have started doing is budgeting our dining out. So most of you know that I work from home, and sometimes working from home is not always easy. I get up in the morning, I brush my hair, sometimes I brush my teeth, wash my face, change my clothes, and I go to work. Depending on the day that I've had, if it's a stressful day or the dogs have gotten on my nerves from barking and acting crazy, as I have 3 of them. So when one starts, they all start. I may want to go out to eat, and that's pretty much one of my pleasures in life is dining out because I do work from home, but I enjoy it. Even if it's just running down the street, I like getting out of the house for just a few moments to, kind of regroup and clear my head and get out. So my husband and I have decided that we're going to take a budget of $100 a week, and that's our dining out from Sunday to Saturday. If we're going to go, even if we go out every day that week, as long as we have the budget, we can do that. So what we do is we go to the bank, we take out the monies. I'm the handler of it, so I keep the $100, and we do it with cash because we feel like if we did not do it with cash, it would be easy just to use our debit card and say, okay, well, we're going to go a little over this time, that's okay. And then we'll find ourselves back in the habit of spending more monies on dining out than we really want to. Because when I worked in a high rise in downtown Atlanta, I started paying attention to how much monies I was spending per week on eating out. And then, the weekly adds up to the month, and the month to the year. So I'd started a new job and I was in a high rise, and I loved the cafeteria in the building, and it had this salad bar that was phenomenal. Well, every day for lunch, I was eating a salad from, great salad with potato salad, chicken salad, and all the good salads, and it was by weight. And this was maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. So my salad every day was costing me about $10 a day. Now, that was just for my lunch. That didn't include if I stopped for breakfast or if I picked up supper that night. But my lunch every week, Monday through Friday, was $50, which is $200 a month. And that's a lot of money, in my opinion, on eating out. So we didn't want to get back into that habit where we were spending and wasting a lot of money on dining out, which is the reason we came up with the budget. So like I said, we'll go to the bank, we'll get out the cash. I'm the handler of it. And then if we decide we want to go out to eat, we really have to stop and think, okay, today's a Monday. If we go somewhere that's $30 and we have to tip, well, there's $40 of our $100 budget right there spent on Monday. And you may be thinking, well, wait, you said 30. What about the other 10? Well, we do a COVID tip and what that is for us is when COVID happened and a lot of the restaurants started opening back up, they weren't frequented by a lot of patrons. So we decided that if we were going to go out to eat, we would tip at a minimum of $10 because we felt that if we could afford to go out to eat and, places were suffering, as far as not a lot of patrons coming in, that we would at a minimum give $10. And we still do that to this day. Of course, depending on our bill, well, not so much now because we stay under $100, but if we go somewhere and we have service and it's, if it's somewhere that we have to tip, we always tip $10. That's just something that we feel is the right thing to do. But anyway, if we go somewhere to eat and it's $30 and we do our COVID tip, well, then that only leaves us $60 for the rest of the week. So we have to seriously think about, okay, do we want to go here to eat, or we just want to eat something from the cabinet, as we call it, but and then save it for the weekend. So most of the time we will opt for saving it for a really nice meal on the weekend. We have a really nice burger place here we like to eat. We have a couple of really nice steak houses. So we have to determine, and we have a really fabulous pizza place. It's Nancy's Pizza. Oh my God, it's so good. They have that Chicago style pizza there. Oh, it's so good. But we have to think, do we want to save our monies for that? Or do we want to, go out through the week and then have no money for the weekend? We do have a place that we like to eat at on Wednesday nights. It's a little local hometown, family-owned business, and we do like to support those when we can. But we eat there just about every Wednesday night. The food's really good. It's relatively cheap. Even with a $10 tip, we get out relatively cheap, and then we still have all of our monies left for the weekend. Now, the benefit of this is if you don't spend your entire $100 by Sunday, when you put your new $100 in there, you have whatever you had left over from the week before to add on top of your new week. And that has happened a couple of times. We've gone in to a new week with $60 still left because we didn't go out. We stayed at home and ate. And then we go into the new week with $160, and we get excited because we can go somewhere a little nicer, to eat. We really like to go to Hooters. We like their wings, but once we go to Hooters, it's always around $80 because we buy the big wing platter and we eat a few there, and then we always bring them home. So that's about $80 if you get a beer or two or whatever. But so we can go into the next week with a little more monies, and then we can decide, if we want to eat cheap or do we want to eat fancy. And that's actually a dilemma that we have sometimes. Do we want to eat somewhere really fancy, or do we just want to go and grab? But we do know that going and grab is not always the best option health-wise. So that's something that we try to think of too, is if we do eat out, we don't want to eat a bunch of garbage. And sometimes with the fast food, that's what we get. We get garbage. But we can make better choices by going to Chick-fil-A or having a salad from Wendy's or something like that. But I wanted to share this with y'all because I know now with COVID, a lot of people do work from home. And if you get cabin fever like I was starting to get, maybe you guys could come up with this and do this, sort of thing yourselves. Give yourself a budget for dining out or going to the movies or whatever you like to do. And then that way you have the money. You already know at the beginning of the week you're going to have that money to do what you want to do with. So it has helped us tremendously, and it's something that we enjoy. I don't know if I said when we started, but our week starts Sunday to Saturday. So on Saturday, when we dine out, whatever's left over goes into the following funds or to our budget. We go to the bank or the ATM or whatever the case may be. We pull out our $100 and then we put it with whatever we have left over. Even if it's a couple dollars, we put it all together. And I always make sure, or I try to give correct change. So that way, a lot of these places, they won't correct change because they don't always have change because of the coin shortage or whatever. So I'll always make sure to have coins. And I don't go dig in my piggy bank to add coins. Whatever's in that $100, I keep it in one separate place in my wallet, and that is what we spend. And it has been a great money saver for us. It has been a way for us to not eat as much because, we may opt to go somewhere where we don't have to pay, our budget or our bill is not as big because we don't eat as much. We may go somewhere and normally we would get an appetizer or whatever, but we know that if we get that appetizer, it's going to add an additional $10 that we don't want to spend because we want to save it up for another meal. So that's just something that we've started doing, and it's been great. It's been fun because we said, where are we going to eat? How much money we got, So, but it's been beneficial in many ways. One, not eating as much and saving some money and that kind of thing, because with the economy like it is, we still want to have some fun, but while we don't break the bank by going out to eat. So that is just a little tip that myself and my husband are doing. Maybe you guys have something that you're doing to save money. You can shoot me an email at hodgepodgewithangela@gmail.com, or you can call into the show and leave a voicemail. The number is 404-939-7720 if you have any money saving tips. So I would love to hear about them. As always, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to share this with your friends. If you're not already following the show, please make sure that you follow the show. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, y'all.